Hi, I'm Jess Jarvis, and I'm modeling a book share for It Could Always Be Worse. I'm going to pretend you are the children. So I have a book to share with you today, and if you look at the book, tell me what you notice. Lots of people. Yeah. Caldecott. Yes, that means that it won for the best pictures for all of its year. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people in that house. It looks very busy. Let's see what happens in this story. It could always be worse. I wonder what could always be worse. What does worse mean? Okay, let's see. Once upon a time, in a small village, a poor, unfortunate man lived with his mother, his wife, and his 6 children, all in a little one-room hut. Because they were so crowded, the man and his wife often argued. That means they fought. They had a lot of disagreements. The children were noisy, and they fought too. In the winter, when nights were long and the days were cold, life was especially hard. The hut was full of crying and quarreling. That means they kept fighting. They saying, "You did this. No, you did it. I want to go there. You're in my way." They fought a lot. One day, when the poor, unfortunate man couldn't stand it anymore, he ran to the rabbi for advice. I wonder why he went to the rabbi. Have you ever asked a rabbi to help you for information or for their ideas? That's what he was doing. He went to ask the rabbi for some ideas, how they could make it better, because to them, this felt pretty bad, not very comfortable. "Holy Rabbi," he cried, "things are in a bad way with me, and getting worse. We are so poor that my mother, my wife, and my 6 children and I all live together in one small hut. We are too crowded, and there's so much noise. Help me, Rabbi. I'll do whatever you say." The rabbi thought and pulled on his beard. At last he said, "Tell me, my poor man, do you have any animals? Perhaps a chicken or 2? "Yes," said the man, "I do have a few chickens. Also a rooster and a goose." "Ah, fine," said the rabbi. "Now go home and take the chickens, the rooster, and the goose into your hut to live with you." "Yes, indeed, Rabbi," said the man, though he was a bit surprised. Look, it looks like the rabbi was sitting waiting to be asked a question. He must have a lot of information. I wonder what's going to happen when the chickens, the geese, and the rooster get into the house. The poor, unfortunate man hurried home and took the chickens, the rooster, and the goose out of the shed and into his little hut. You can see it right there. That should be pretty cozy, right? They'll be okay. No, they're too full. They're crowded. Let's find out. When some days or a week had gone by, life in the hut was worse than ever. Wait a minute. I thought the name of this book had that word in it too, worse. It could always be worse. So life was even more worse now with all these animals. Look. All the animals, all the people. Now they were with the quarreling and crying, there was honking, crowing, and clucking. There were feathers in the soup. The hut stayed just as small, and the children grew bigger. When the poor, unfortunate man couldn't stand it any longer, he again ran to the rabbi for help. I wonder what he's going to say. "Holy Rabbi," he called, "see what a misfortune has befallen me. Now with the crying and the quarreling, with the honking and the clucking and the crowing, there are feathers in the soup. Rabbi, it can't be worse. It couldn't be any worse. Please, help me." The rabbi listened and thought, At last he said, "Tell me, do you happen to have a goat?" "Oh, yeah, I have an old goat, but it's not worth much." "Excellent," said the rabbi. "Now go home and take the old goat into your hut to live with you." "Ah, no, do you really mean it, Rabbi?" cried the man. Come now, my good man, do as I say at once," said the rabbi. See, there he is, telling the rabbi all the problems. I wonder why the rabbi wants the man to bring the goat into the house. We'll see what happens. The poor unfortunate man tramped back home with his head hanging down and took the old goat into his hut. How do you think he was feeling if he tramped home with his head hanging down and the old goat coming in with him? Not very good, right? He's already so smushed. Now, when some days or a week had gone by, life in the little hut was even worse. I thought it wasn't supposed to get any worse. Now with the crying, quarreling, clucking, honking, and crowing, the goat went wild, pushing and butting everyone with his horns. The hut seemed smaller, and the children grew bigger. When the poor unfortunate man couldn't stand it another minute, he again ran to the rabbi. Wow, they look even more crowded than they were. They must not be very happy. "Holy Rabbi, help me!" he screamed. "Now the goat is running wild. My life is a nightmare." Have you ever had a bad dream? And did you wake up and you wish it wasn't true? He was saying that when he was awake, it felt like he was having a bad dream. The rabbi listened and thought, At last he said, "Tell me, my poor man, is it possible you have a cow? Young or old, it doesn't matter." "Yes, Rabbi, it's true I have a cow," the poor man said fearfully. Why do you think he was afraid? He knew what the rabbi was going to say. What's the rabbi going to say? Yeah, put the cow in the house. Okay, let's see. "Go home then," said the rabbi, "and take the cow into your hut." "Oh, no, surely not, Rabbi," cried the man. "Do it at once," said the rabbi. There he is, being told to put the cow in the house. But they're already so full. This poor, unfortunate man trudged home with a heavy heart and took the cow into his house. And then he thought to himself, is the rabbi crazy? What do you think? It's not a kind thing to say, is it? But the advice that he was telling the man, it was not making things better. It was making it worse. It was getting worse. Oh no. When some days or a week had gone by, life in the hut was very much worse than before. Everyone quarreled, even the chickens. The goat ran wild. The cow trampled everything. The poor man could hardly believe his misfortune. At last, when he could stand it no longer, He ran to the rabbi for help. What do you think? Maybe he'll say, bring an elephant in the house? I don't know. There he is, back for more advice. Holy Rabbi, he shrieked, help me, save me, the end of the world has come. The cow is trampling everything. There is no room even to breathe. It's worse than a nightmare. The rabbi listened and thought. At last he said, go home now, my poor unfortunate man, and let the animals out of your hut. I will, I'll do it right away, said the man. The poor unfortunate man hurried home and let the cow, the goat, the chickens, the goose, and the rooster out of his little hut. Out they go. Oh. What do you think happens next? They might be happy. They might be sad. The house might fall down. They might be too cold. Who knows? Let's see. That night, the poor man and all his family slept peacefully. Look at their faces. They all look so cozy and so happy. There was plenty of room to breathe. The very next day, the poor man ran back to the rabbi. Wonder why? Holy Rabbi, he said, you have made life sweet for me. With just my family in the hut, it's so quiet, so roomy, so peaceful. What a pleasure. The end. Did the rabbi make their house bigger? No. Did the rabbi do something different to help them? You know what he did? He helped them to see that their house was just enough and that they could be really happy being together in there. It's true, they were very content. The end.